Welcome to another episode of GT History, the video series where I present to you the craziest stories about the most capitalist MMO in the world, Growtopia. You see, in Growtopia it's all about world locks or diamond locks, which are basically the main currency of the game. If you have many diamond locks, you're considered a rich player and people are going to treat you like a superstar. So one of the main goals when you play the game, at least for most people, is to get as many diamond locks as possible so that they can feel good. And in order to get diamond locks, you can either play the game the normal way and farm blocks or trade items for profit, but there are some individuals who don't want to follow those rules. They are called scammers, and in Growtopia there are a ton of them. There is even a wiki page on the official Growtopia wiki detailing various scam methods such as drop game or trade word scams. And if you take a look at it, it's a very long list. So now you may ask yourself, how far are people willing to go in order to make the most diamond locks as a scammer? And the answer to that is very, very far. This video is about two individuals who took scamming to the next level. I am proud to present to you ex-moderator JakeShore and filthy rich player Avenie. Now you may think, wait, what? Moderator? And you heard right. JakeShore was a moderator in Growtopia from June 2013 until June 2014, and that's when he stepped down as a moderator for studies, he said. Moderators or ex-moderators are one of the most trusted people in the game, and being a moderator in Growtopia means that you're basically a superstar. Growtopia is an MMO with a heavy focus on socializing, and so if you have a purple name and you can spawn items, that's very cool. And it has been since the existence of moderators that they are basically superstars, and people go crazy when they see a moderator. JakeShore also sponsored an item, it's the cardboard box head item, together with a group of friends. In summary, that meant he was a very trusted and rich player in the game, and nobody would ever think he was gonna scam anybody. The second person of interest is Avenie. You may know her or his name from the Growtopia item Golden Skeleton Horse, which is actually sponsored by Avenie. You see, back in the day you could still sponsor an item, which means that the developers would create it for you and put it into the game for 30 diamond locks. And back in the day there was a lot of money, and it was very special that a player sponsored an item. There were even rumors going around that Avenie was Washipal, the player who we covered in the last video. If you have watched that already, you know who that is. But Washipal said it's wrong, which is basically what I would also do if it was my alt account. Avenie was known for the skeleton horse and for all the diamond locks he owned, and you may hear that I'm confused between he or her because it's actually not clear if he was a girl or a guy, but I suspect he's a guy in real life. Avenie always claimed to have been a woman that is 23 years old and from Estonia, but when you take a look at his Twitch channel, you can see a picture of a very good looking woman, but if you put that image into Google image search, which basically looks up the internet for the image, you can find it on Pinterest, and it's probably stolen from there, so it's a catfish and not to be taken seriously at all. So that's a great start already, lying about your gender. Let's see what they actually did. The scam that they managed to pull off even rivals some scams in the real world, and it's basically a Ponzi scheme. And if you don't know what a Ponzi scheme is, I'm gonna explain it to you very quick. So it always sounds the same. There's one person who's claiming to take money from you and return more money later on, mostly in a few days or maybe 2 weeks. because he's such a good investor that he basically can take money and make more of it. And at first it even works. People are getting more money back than they give the investor, or so-called investor, who is in reality a scammer. And so they tell their friends about the investment they made, and their friends are going to invest money into the Ponzi scheme too. The person who runs the Ponzi scheme never actually invests money though. They just pay back other people that lent money to him before, so he gets more trust. And at one point, he's just gonna evaporate into thin air and all the money is gone. And now, how does that work in Growtopia? Well, you see there's a forums, an official place where you can post threads and reply to them. And that's the place where JakeShore and Avenie went to post a new thread where they advertised their investment opportunity to all the players. And since they were such trusted persons in the Growtopia community, nobody actually suspected them to scam, because an ex-moderator wouldn't ever scam anybody, right? The post started getting some attention when people invested in them and actually got their world locks and the profits back, and they told their friends to also invest in the service they promised. And for a while it really went well. But at some point cracks began to show, as a player called G and a big number started pointing out that it probably is a Ponzi scheme scam. But Avenie defended himself by saying that other people got their diamond locks back and it isn't a scam. Also, there were many people complaining about late payments, which basically shows that there was a problem behind the scene. And in October 2014, JakeShore and Avenie were suddenly banned. Also, JakeShore removed all of his forum posts, which is why we can't see them anymore, but Avenie's scam thread is still up for the world to see. But what happened to all the diamond locks they took from the players? Well, as it turns out, Avenie ran a Facebook group where he sold diamond locks for real money, which is of course illegal. It is said that JakeShore and Avenie scammed around 400 diamond locks in total, which they then sold for about $2 each. And that makes $800 for them to share. But it might as well be true that they scammed even more diamond locks. So that's crazy, right? Making $800 of a phone game. And those actions had consequences. So first of all, people tried to contact the support to get them back their diamond locks. But since in Growtopia scams are so common, it's a policy that you don't get any items back if you got scammed. Also, there were many copycats popping up on the forums trying to advertise their investment scheme, but needless to say, people were very suspicious of them and they didn't really work. But as more of those threads started popping up on the forums, the developer Hamumu made a post about them being a scam, and that you should basically turn your brain on and not get scammed by them. And to this day, JakeShore and Avenie are still names that people know in the game usually, and the golden skeleton horse also still exists in the game, and you probably already saw it already. It's quite a common item. It is unclear whether JakeShore and Avenie play the game on a second anonymous account right now. Maybe they even watched the video, which would be quite funny. But what we learned from this is that you never actually can trust anyone beside yourself. Because as you saw, even the most trusted people in a community can turn into a scammer. So you better keep your items to yourself. Okay, so that's it for this video. If you liked it, like it. If you loved it, subscribe. Also, you can check out my other videos on Growtopia history. I did already. I have a series going on. And I'm going to upload more of them in the future. Until then, see you. Peace out.